Hey guys, Joel here. Welcome back to another episode. So today, just gonna talk real quick about like something I had on mind that I want to do, that I want to get back into doing and everything. Because since I've been ranting a lot already on these AAA devs and how they've been like ruining a lot of these damn franchises and stuff that I grew up with and all that stuff. And I'm pissed off. Like I'm really pissed off and like what they're doing and why something so simple they can't just leave it the way it is and just add some extra features to it, like extra content to it. So I've talked about this already, I believe, on the channel with like that I was a video game dev and everything. I'm not too like good with it. I wouldn't say perfect. Like when it comes to like 3D, I'm still not good with that. I still have to learn more about with 3D and coding and all that other stuff. I'm not really too familiar with it. I mean, well, I'm kind of familiar with it, but I'm not too good at it, And I was trying many of the 3D gaming engines back then, like game design engines like Unity, Unreal, and stuff. And it's kind of a little difficult for me, because I have to like it's just different, it's different. Not really about the coding, but just more of like how to really like make a 3D game because it's just how everything is, It's just I don't really know how to explain it. But Unity to me so far is more of an easier one for beginners and everything. Unreal is a little bit more difficult. But I want to get back into doing games again, because of just how pissed off I am about these AAA devs and how they can't get shit right. So like, you know what? Maybe I should make a JRPG. I mean, a RPG with JRPG elements to it, because I'm not Japanese. But yeah, make something, similar to like how a JRPG would be, but just American role playing game and everything. And I was working on one back then. I never mentioned this on the channel. I was working on one before. The game is called Valiant Hearts. The first one I've made is actually available on what's it? Game Jolt. Yeah, I haven't used that in so long, so I almost forgot the name. It was Game Jolt, Itch.io that I have. Yeah, I also have some games on Itch.io, and I have two on Steam. So the RPG, the RPG Valiant Hearts is on Game Jolt. If I'm not 100% sure, I'm gonna check that out. I'm gonna leave a link in the description below for you guys to check it out. It is free. It's a free game. It was just like more of it was an early project of mine and everything. It was just something to like kind of like dive in and explore a little bit of game design and everything. It was set in RPG Maker. You guys should be really familiar with that, and it's something really simple for me. I'm really good at using it. I've been using it for a couple of years. I started using it back in 2016, I want to say, and it's really easy, because it's 2D and everything. So it's a lot more easier to learn, and a lot more easier to like kind of create things like making a town or a house or the inside of a house, because it's in 2D, so it's a lot much easier how everything is set up. When it comes to 3D, it's a little bit more harder, honestly, in my opinion. I don't mind learning, of course, because I want to learn it and make 3D games in the future, but this is something that I can only work with for now, and this kind of like continue using it until I build up my skills a little bit more. When I learn some coding, everything too, that would definitely help. A lot of people have made some really great games in RPG Maker. Some people have made different types of games. There was even RPG games in RPG Maker, and also as long as they know coding, they can change the whole game around, and you would never expect it was made in that engine, RPG Maker engines and stuff like that in the engines. So I have that one game. It was just for fun. I made it. It was more like a comedy type of game. It wasn't really a RPG, and everything. But I had another project that I was more serious about doing. That was Valiant Hearts 2. It was called Valiant Hearts 2 Extension, I think I called it. But then I had changed it just to Valiant Hearts 2, which was like, the sequel to it, but like more of a serious, tone, like actual RPG. It was gonna be an actual RPG. And I believe I started working on it back in 2017, I believe. I have to double check. I still have it saved on my in my external hard drive on for my laptop. Still have that. So thank God I have all that stuff saved and everything from over the years, because I would have lost all that. So I still have it saved. I gotta remember what's it like the last year, like what I last done and what year it was when I last did what I was doing in there. And I'm thinking about reviving it and continuing it from there and finally having it release on Steam and everything. But I'm gonna see how that works out. But I wanted to I want to get it back into video games, design, like developing, I should say, developing these games and everything, because just what I'm seeing, everything in the whole gaming industry is this, I guess it kind of say like a little flame, you know what I mean? To like get back into doing this, because gaming, like I never spoke about this on the channel, but video game design was always something I always wanted to do back then, growing up. And what made me get into that was playing Final Fantasy 7 and Final Fantasy 8. Those are the two games that really got me into wanting to be a game developer in the future when I grew up and everything. And I never was able to really go ahead with doing it, and because a lot of the schools here in New York City wasn't for it. They didn't really have anything for that, minus like graphic arts, which is kind of similar to it, but it wasn't really what I wanted to do. And then here came a lot of these what's it these engines and stuff like that that they had that you can download and mess around with and actually make your own games in it. It was like pretty easy, very very easy, good for like beginners and stuff like that, beginner friendly and stuff like that to make these games and everything. And I wanted to like dive into it, dive into it, and then learn it. And that's what we have now. We have a lot of these engines now, so it's actually good to really learn. You can easily learn. I should say, learn more. Game design, game development, and stuff like that. As long as we have these engines and stuff, and if you guys are willing to pay money for these stuff, and all that good stuff. So, because like I said, the schools here they didn't have it, so that's why I never got back into doing it. And so I lost interest. I lost interest in doing it since that because there was no schools here for it and whatever. But once they came out with these engines and stuff that you can buy and make your own games in, that's when I got back into game design and everything. So I'm really happy for that they have these engines and stuff out there. And I was able to finally make some games, because I was always into it since Final Fantasy 7 and 8. That was the two games that pushed me, got me really interested in doing game development and stuff like that. Because oh my God, I love those games. To this day, 7A is my two favorite JRPGs of all time and everything, and it's like I love them. So when you guys see that I'm always pissed off and everything on here, ranting on Square Enix and everything, is because I mean it. It's from the heart. I'm not doing it because I'm whining or complaining or just throwing a bitch fit over it and stuff. Like, no, I'm doing this for a reason. The reason why I'm ranting is because these were games from my childhood growing up, and it was great. Like they put the love into these games and everything. It was so good. And then to see what they did with it and just fuck it all up. Of course I'm gonna be pissed off. And that's two of my favorite games. Two of my favorite games to this day. And Final Fantasy Tactics, great strategy role playing game, and that was the very first strategy role playing game I ever played. And ever since I fell in love with strategy role playing games. And to this day, Final Fantasy Tactics is still my number one. I think they have their 25th anniversary now, I believe, right? I think so. So happy 25th to them because it's a great game, really good. One day I'll have to play it on the channel, maybe review it. But anyways, so I want to continue, with Valiant Hearts 2 and finally complete this game because it was in development for a long time. I should have been finished the game a long time. But the other issue I have with that is because I'm the only one doing it. It's kind of, I wouldn't say hard, but it's really time consuming, especially if there's other things I'm trying to do in life. It's kind of hard to like try and dedicate a lot of hours, I would say, like a lot of time, in the day, in the week, to work on a game, especially an RPG, because I had a lot of things planned out for this RPG. I didn't want it to be something short. I wanted to, have a lot of content and everything. I wanted a big map and, just a lot of explore and everything. But I don't think I'll be able to do it exactly how I wanted to because it's me only working on it. So it's gonna be a lot of work to do. And then on top of that, making logos, which I'm not really good at that stuff and all that. So, and then music. So there's a lot of things, you have to put into consideration of doing these things, So that's the reason why I took a break from it. I was trying to have like a little video game crew at the time where we can like work on make games and stuff. We come up with creative ideas for like type of games we want, stories. Never worked out. Always an issue with these people, and then I just end up having to scrap the ideas and just continue working alone. So but with Valiant Hearts 2 is a project that I only wanted to work on it by myself, so it's something that I've been, trying to do for a long time. So I want to continue it, because I want to make a good 2D retro RPG with JRPG elements, something that these freaking AAA devs don't know how to do anymore. It's like they're running around like idiots and don't know what to do, these games, like they're confused, so I wanted to have something similar to Final Fantasy 7. I wanted to make something similar to that. It was always a dream of mine to, make a game like that. It won't look like it. I wish I could use that same engine, like how Final Fantasy 7, how that engine looked back then. But I think that was their own that they made and stuff like that. So there's no way to I don't think there's any way to kind of mimic it. But yeah, so That's what I want to do. Also, there's horror games I have made as well. I think I have mentioned that on this channel already. I think I have mentioned during my horror game series back in October. So I'll leave a link in the description as well for those games because they're also available in itch.io. I made two horror games available in itch.io and also available on Steam, but they're not free. So, but they're reasonable prices. Just in case you guys ever want to check it out and everything like that, and support me because that's projects I'm doing. Like projects that I work hard on doing everything like that. So I don't mind sharing that with you guys. But if I'm just on here talking about Patreons and shit like that, just for what? Just to have videos behind the paywall for you guys to see that subscribe, that's nothing. That's something I'm not gonna be doing. But if it's like an actual project that I worked on and stuff like that, like things like this, which is not easy, it's gonna take all the time to do. That I will definitely appreciate the support, for you guys that would like to check it out and purchase these games because I worked on these games and it took a while by myself, by the way. So, but I have two horror games. Like I said, I'll leave in the description. One is called Humble Abode, and that one I made. I think that one was in 2017, I believe. I want to say it was 2017. I think so. And then yeah, so I think it was like 2017 because that's when they still had the Steam Greenlight. You guys remember that when you had to like vote in the games or whatever? I forgot how it works, but now they got rid of that, which is so much better. But also kind of bad because then anybody that pays can have their games on Steam, and that's how you got a bunch of shitty games on it now and everything. I heard like a lot of horror games is terrible and everything like that. But you could pay I think it's $100 now. You pay Steam, and then you can now put your games up on there like just like that without having to go through that green light voting feature or whatever it was. But I have Humble Abode, really good horror game. It pays homage to the old school Resident Evils because that's what I wanted it to be like. And you guys already know I love Resident Evil, the old school stuff. So I wanted to have a horror game kind of similar to that. And a lot of people who have played it, bought it and played it on Steam. It was positive reviews on there. Even some people have mentioned that it feels like that, and I was happy about that. I was like, wow, people actually realized that's what it was. That's what I was trying to do with it. I wanted the game to be similar to the old Resident Evils and stuff. So I'm like, wow, I'm happy that people actually saw that, acknowledged it and stuff like that, and it was happy for it. So I'm gonna leave that in the description as well. The next one is Fatal Curse, which is one that I think that one I released in 2018. I want to say 2019. Yeah, I think it was 2018. Yeah, I think it was 2018, like the end of 2018. Another horror game, really good. I spent a lot of time on that one. That one to me was like that was one of my best works because it was just so much work I put into it and artwork. I even tried doing the artwork and everything just for the game and make my own characters in the game and everything like that. So that one I put the prices a little bit more than Humble Abode because there was a lot more going on in that game. It was more open, so you wasn't only like confined to one area. Humble Abode only takes place inside of the main character's, the protagonist's house and everything like that. And he's is a killer that has broke into his house and trying to get him and stuff. And that game I wanted to be similar to Resident Evil, where I have continuing sequels, and make it into a franchise. So I was working on Humble Abode 2, and it failed miserably twice because the same person I was trying to work with, we couldn't come to terms with a lot of things. It was just difficult to work with. So I had to scrap the idea twice. I was working on it last year with him, and then a lot of things he messed it up. So now I have to start again from scratch again because like it's like this is why I can't work with people because there's always an issue, and it's not me, it's always an issue. So I have to start from scratch on Humble Abode 2, and I guess I'll just have to do it myself now again, like how I did with the first one. So I have Humble Abode. I actually have DLC for it. It's free, is within the game and everything. So it's called damn, I forgot the name of it. Humble Abode something. Damn, something with a detective. Something like that. Where you play as a detective and stuff. That you go to the house before all of this happens to find out more about the killer. I should say the origins. So this is before the killer started, doing what he's been doing and everything. So if you guys want to check that out as well, there's like I said, I'll leave the link below. But I do want to work on a second Humble Abode. Future horror games I would like to do as well, but I would like more to do RPG because that's something I always wanted to do, in my life. Always something I wanted to do, and I think now is the perfect time for me to get back into that mood and do it. I'm in the mood now because of what's going on now and how these AAA devs are like, just screwing shit up and they don't know what they're doing. So I want to get back into that, make a nice retro RPG and things like that, and I'll I'll have the links below and everything, so you guys would want to follow my progress within the games and stuff like that, and support me by purchasing some of these games. That'd be great too. So like I said, I'm gonna leave all the links for all of that stuff from Game Joe to Itch.io and all that stuff with all my games that I have already, and also I'm gonna be like I'll probably leave a link for the face. I have a Facebook page as well for the game studio I have. It's called Venometh Game Studio and everything. So you guys can like follow the progress there, and it's not nothing like some like talking about like a ad like he said a sponsorship or whatever. Because this is me talking about my projects. I'm not sponsor other people or whatever like that. I don't do that stuff on here. But so I just want to really talk about that, talking about my pretty much like future projects that I have in store. I want to get back into doing video games again like that, and yeah, and I'm always out there. I'm always out there like to support. I'm always out there looking for more. I should say looking for more like indie devs. Because I support indie devs. I support what they're doing, and all that good stuff. So I definitely would appreciate the support as well, and all that good stuff. So that's what I'm gonna be doing. So like I said, I'll leave everything for you guys to check out. Valorant Heart's the first one. And like I said, that one is free and everything. It was just more of like sometimes like little projects to play around with, just to get my foot in the water and see what's going on. How the engine was and stuff like that with RPG Maker. And then like I said, I'll see what I can do with Valorant Hearts 2, because I would like to complete it. And I would say at least for this year. I mean, for this year, it should be ready. I hope. If not, then I want to work on it too and get have this thing out for next year. We'll see how how everything goes. And whatever horror projects I have in the future, I want to, like I said, I want to do Humble Boat 2 and everything. You guys want to check out the first one, check out the added content for it I have, the DLC and all that stuff, and just let me know and all that good stuff, because like I feel like that was the time for it. That was the time, and I'll definitely appreciate the support as well from many. Like I said, I never spoke about this on the channel as much. I did speak a little bit about like when I made horror games as well, and all that good stuff. But I think that's it. Yeah. So, anything else I want to mention? Uh, yeah. Or last but not least, with the Let's Play, I know I said I was supposed to work on. I was supposed to start that like earlier this month, and I was caught up other things. So I am still going to be doing the Resident Evil 4 Let's Play. I still want to do it. I'm not sure if I'm going to start it this week. Maybe this week. Next week. Let's see if I can do it next week or something. Yeah, I'll see if I can do it next week. I would say, because I do want to start it, and because I want to play it. Yeah, I want to play it over already. I want to play it over again, and and play a good Resident Evil before they started screwing up. Like I've said before, after 4, it just went downhill. It hasn't been the same since. But like I played so many Resident Evils on the channel already, so I don't think I'm gonna be going back to any like retro um like I mean the older Resident Evils for now, like like Resident Evil 1, 2, because I played them many times on the channel already. But if I find any like other hack versions I could actually play, from the console like an emulator, then I'll do it. But no more of those PC mods. I'm not gonna be doing any more of those. Cause I have mentioned that before. I'm not gonna do any more. But Resident Evil 4, that's something different. I've never did Resident Evil 4. Never really talked much about Resident Evil 4 in here, so why not? And perfect time since you're talking about the remake it and stuff like that. So that's the reason why I also want to play it. What else? And maybe even Revelations, another game that is very underrated. I don't think a lot of people talk much about Revelations, which is also really good, really good, really really good. The first one, not the second one. So maybe one day I can probably play that as well on the channel. I don't know yet. We'll see. But yeah, so I think that's about it. I don't think there's anything else I mentioned. What was it? Where were we at? Okay, yeah. Well, yeah, we've been talking for a while. So yeah. So I think that's pretty much it. And let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think. And you like I said, you guys want to check out my projects and stuff like that, just let me know. Like, comment, subscribe, all that great stuff. I'll definitely appreciate it as always. And I'll see you guys next time for another episode. Take care.